Okay. This is just a late night stream. Um, just a late night stream of just late night streaming. Just going live. This is like my first time going live, and I'm actually gonna see if I can keep this one up. Just talking about the current status of the United States, well, really the world, as of today, March 22nd. This is around 1 a.m. Just making a post. So, just gonna talk about a couple things. All right. So currently, there's six key issues facing America today. These concerns reflect widespread public anxiety shaping nations. So we got a lot of problems going on right now, but it's been all these problems are normal through all societies over the years, and it appears like we are repeating ourselves. One second, let me make sure. Is my mic on? My mic. One second. Let me do a sound check real quick. Sound check. I'm gonna get a lot of reverb on this. Just me doing this sound check, making sure that this is doing this sound check, making sure that this is doing this sound yep, check. It is on. Because that goes to repeat. Okay, so yeah, we got a lot of issues that's going on. As usual, political trust in our leaders, so-called leaders, politicians, is at a record low. Doesn't matter what side you're on, Republican, Democrat. Just the fact that I just said that kind of proves it, because it's like a psychological game to where they choose where you have to be on one side or the other when they're both screwing you. Then we got economic instability, crime, youth trends, drug crisis, cultural shifts, and international conflict that is going on. So political concerns. This is never end stories. This goes all the way back to the history of books when it was Rome. Um, People have always had trust in political figures, but to govern, you do need them on it. So currently in the United States, trust in our politicians are in an all time low. Uh, Even if you're not for Trump or against Trump, actually, hold up. Let me add some vibe to this a little bit. I'm just gonna add some theme music. In the city of darkness, it is traveling. There we go. A little bit of theme music to the background. I think that makes it things a little bit better, especially late at night. So yeah, as I was saying, like our trust in politicians is wrong because currently Donald Trump is the current president, and a lot of people they try to play the game where if it was something different, if we would have elected a different person, things would be different. But it's the same because it's the same group of people. So let's just repeat. Upcoming to the election of Donald Trump, there was a lot of political and psychological games that was played. First, we had the so-called assassination attempts on him, which I believe a lot of that was staged. Some of it doesn't seem too real, or if it was real, it shows that our Secret Service allowed it to happen. Because in the news today, people don't pay attention to things. Because if we can track what people and other presidents are doing, such as in countries in Venezuela, as in Iran, but we can't make sure that his grounds where he's finna do a rally is completely safe, is incompetent. So his shooting was just amped up to like Donald Trump was the person for the people. And which, in a sense, you can say his election changed it, but I believe it was already done. He's just the face of it of what change was going to come in the psychological games. I'm going to come back to that. But just to go into his election, there was a lot of political, a lot of psychological gaming going on his side. But also on the other side, Joe Biden, everybody knew he had Alzheimer's. He's slipping, or his mind is slipping. May not be Alzheimer, but some type of slowing, other thinking, his walking. He's just not fit for office, such as a lot of our politicians that are in office. They've aged out to where they should be at the retirement stage where they're enjoying their golden years of life, 2 to 3, 4 years left. They should not be dying in office, such as like Maxine Waters running for re-election. She should not even be allowed to run for re-election. Sometimes I feel like these people are forced to do this because who really wants to do this, or are they just face? I think she's just a face of this. And then you have the Kamala Harris, which showed so much psychological warfare on the masses of the people. Her qualifications, she basically took over for Joe Biden, which one of the most racist things that was put on, they told her to hide the fact that she is Indian. Her mother's Indian, her father's Jamaican. So you can say that she's a black woman, but they told her to hide the fact that she is actually Indian as well, which is very racist. Whenever somebody tells you to hide your ethnicity, that goes back to 1940s, 1960s way of thinking. But people try to bypass that and they look at other things as being racist. But the fact, if somebody tells you if you're running for office, do not tell the fact that you are Indian. India for the country of India, which her mother is from, so she is part Indian. She is American too, but her descent is also Indian. But they, by telling her hide it, shows that the Democratic Party is strongly in root in race. So that's something that the beauty of YouTube, you guys can look back and look at things. And then her speeches and things, she was putting so much words out, just like she was just thrown up there. And her speeches, her talking, I would get lost in it. A lot of words out, a lot of big words, but a lot of little substance. She wasn't good at selling, and I think that's the reason why she didn't win. She proved that she's not a salesman, and so she may have had a problem with alcohol or something, or she could have just been going through her own personal issues as well on it. But eventually she lost, and then she got a book deal, and I think that was her payment for being part of the game. A lot of way politicians run is doing book deals. I don't know who bought the book, but she made millions of dollars off it. Even nobody can say who bought it. You could say that that was money laundering, and that's another way that politicians make money. The lobbyists cannot pay them directly, so they'll tell them to write a book, and then the lobbyists will buy all the books. You may find a couple of people that buy these books, but for the masses of people, very few buy it. For example, a book will sell 1 million copies, but really only about 2,000 people bought it. The rest was bought by the lobbyists. Some of it wasn't even printed; it's just put on paper. It's just a way of laundering money to a politician. Because if you check, you'll see that they all have wrote books. Okay. And just check how Ilhan Omar supposedly, I'm not at $30 million, but okay, she's only at 20. Okay. And that does not only go for her. Donald Trump and his family has made a lot of money since coming into politics as well, which kind of goes back to what I was talking about with the topic of political corruptions and the declining in trust. So Trump does get elected, and behind him does come a lot of changes that was needed. The cancel culture, canceling everything, the over political correctness, which I believe was done on purpose to just push another general. Now we're going to swing back the other way. So it's a game. 1 minute we swing this way, 1 minute we swing the way. In the middle, people are getting rich on that, and you get people fighting amongst the others while other people are robbing them behind their back. Classic, classic case, and people fall for it. People are really on these teams. I'm on Team MAGA. Oh, I'm against MAGA, and that goes into the big thing on immigration. Immigration was one of the biggest grifts that has happened. Millions and billions of dollars were made by people that ran the scam, which kind of pushes more into the political decline. I suggest everyone go onto YouTube and type in what are the follow things that was known, just basic facts. So I'm gonna start with Joe Biden. So Joe Biden lets a lot of people in the country, humanitarian, being that, and a lot of money is just given out. NGOs and different companies are given money to feed people, to house people, to do that, but the money is not accounted for. On paper, it shows that, we don't really know on paper because no government audit is done on how this money was spent It is just said that the money is given to house migrants. It is said that money is given to feed migrants. And then they come out with the debit cards. But these people don't have social security cards. So if you're a person that's running a program, it's easy for you to create debit cards for yourself, your cousins, your friends, your family, under multiple different names, and then collect the funds on it. Another way of government fraud, but you have to be part of the club to get the money. If you're not part of the club, you're gone. But this money is not accounted for. That goes back into something else with government corruption. This does not, well, as far as I know, it does not involve the president, but in Minnesota, in other places, Medicare fraud, child care fraud is rampant, and the politicians are part of it. The whistleblowers told the governor that this was going on, but he's kept the money flowing. The only way he could know that, one second, this thing flipped to a commercial. Okay, go back. So the whistleblowers flow to the governor of Minnesota that this was happening. The fraud was happening, but they kept it going because they were getting a cut. Tim Walz was getting a cut. He was one of the main people keeping it going. You had to pay the governor. He was paying other people. Ilhan Omar was getting money as well. They knew the money was going overseas, which could actually been funded something else for the government. This thing kind of it's just weird. It's weird. They knew the fraud was going on. It was put in the cash, and the money was sent to Somalia. And I'm going to come back to that with government and the American dollar going overseas, why that's allowed to happen. But just to stay on the corruption part, but not only that, here in California, we have that same issue with fraud. We have the bullet train to nowhere, the speed rail, $1 billion spent. We have the homeless, where $1 billion spent, and no, you have buildings that cost billions of dollars that people said should have just cost millions or maybe 1 million for it. We have fire hydrants that don't have water; they're letting places burn down. Where's the money going? Long story short, a lot of money, taxpayer dollars, is unaccounted for, misused, and it's just business as usual. And the average, honest, hardworking person is just doing the best they can while others are scamming. I'm not saying that you should go out and scam because you're going to go to jail. Eventually, you will get caught. You're not part of the club. Only people that are part of the club do not go to jail. You have to be part of the protected class. So that's a real big thing. And what a lot of people don't know, Trump is the last hope. He was the last hope to get America back on track, to just kind of go back into his presidency. So, because when he got elected, he was supposed to bring change. Doge. When they brought in Doge, it showed that there was a lot of government waste. USAID was shut down. I'm sure they propped up another agency. Um, I think that they were planning on shutting it down anyway because too much was known about it. Not known to the regular people, but by political people, they knew too much things have happened. So I believe it's just gone dark. I believe there's other agencies that are now running the money as well for it. But what Doge exposed is that there's government waste of billions of dollars of government waste. But where is it going? If you go to Virginia, parts of Virginia, you see all the people that work for the government in their big houses. You can kind of see where the money's going. Okay, because they're supposed to be public servants, but they're getting billions of dollars. They're scam artists. Or you just run a nonprofit that's supposed to help people, and you get government money that way. That's another way of corruption. And in the long run, it's destroyed us. The next generation is going to pay for it. When I mean the next generation, I mean 2040. America's going to be in really bad shape. Another Great Depression. And these people, that generation is not going to be as strong as the generation that went through the first Great Depression. Those are strong people. But government corruption is a big problem. Hopefully, Rome, aka the United States, does not have to fall before we get a handle on it. But we'll see. Oh, before I switch off this one, last point on government corruption. Our dear president, who loves us so much, is getting very wealthy while he is in office. If you watch the market since he became president, and all the actions that he has done has affected the market. Okay, the tariffs have caused the stock market, the S&P 500. I know it because I have stocks to go up and down over days. And what a lot of people don't know, if you know when he's going to enact a tariff, take it away, or change it, causing the market to go up and down, you can make a lot of money because you will know when to buy, when to sell. Currently, right now, if you knew that this war was going to happen and you sold all your stock, and you turn around and bought, you sold when it was high, now you're buying when it's low. After the war ends and the stock comes back up, you at a minimum are going to gain like 20% on your money quickly, very quickly. So that's what Trump is doing. Also, he has his Trump coins and there's Marlena coins. And just like the movie that Marlena made, that was money laundered. A few people saw it, a few people did, but I bet she got paid a great salary for that. That was a way of giving money directly to her from a lobbyist. Yeah, I started a movie. Yeah, that was my actor fee. How much was it? $25 million. Yes, I got paid very well. Another way, I'm not saying she got paid that much, but nobody will know because nobody's going to check it. Another way of corruption. But I think that's what they learned from the first time he was in office. He saw how much money was being thrown around, and then now he understands the game and he's making money. But watch the stock market. If you're in stocks, you'll watch how it goes up and down with the war and all the political things that are happening. And that's where politicians just seem like they're idiots. They don't know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. Check out Nancy Pelosi. All right, let's move on. I think we've been on this one long enough. All right, economic struggles. The current economic condition of the United States is not good. The reason, to me, I believe we're at the 1970 levels of issues where it was very bad. However, we are doing okay because of credit. Credit is saving, but we do got problems. First, let's start with the first thing, inflation. Going back, even before COVID, inflation was a problem, but COVID just pushed it greatly. And wages have not caught up. It's probably going to be about another 10 years for before wages either get even close to where it is. Because basically, let's say if you were making $100,000 and everybody thought, oh, six figs, that's good. I'm making $100,000. In today's money, that is not good enough. That is not good enough. You need to be making at least $300,000 now to have that equivalent. Really, with the calculator, it's actually 400,000. If you do the inflation calculator, it's 400,000, and that's inflation, people. Okay, job instability. Job instability is something that is worldwide. Call it IA. A lot of it's robotics. Because a lot of the IA is not. It's not like intelligence like RD32. Uh, it's like Star Wars, like the robots. It's not that good. But a lot of companies bought into it and they got the IA, so they have to use it. They spent millions of dollars buying this, so they're forced to use it. Even some of it doesn't work good. Some of it is needed and it is helping in business. But a lot of it is hot air. And I think eventually companies will go back to humans, but we just got to go through this. For instance, if you call like a bank or some type of company, you'll get an automated press one, press two. That's always been there. But now, when it has a person that you talk to, you're actually talking to a robot and not a person. You have to hit number four, put all the numbers in, and then go. And it's very frustrating. Very frustrating. They're pushing this, but things have always changed in the world. But the crazy is just how people are getting layoffs and they're blaming it on the AI, but a lot of people are saying it's not the AI. I can see people in computer and tech and certain jobs like that. Um, but it just proves that actual physical work will always have to be done by humans, thank God. They're trying to get the robots to do it, but they'll never be efficient. And thank God, humans are so complicated that humans will always be needed in certain jobs. I think we're 100, maybe 1,000 years away from being Star Wars. Thank God. And with that said, a lot of the college students are facing hardships. They're going to school to get degrees for jobs that don't exist. People that have gotten degrees in computers have found everything that they learned is now obsolete. And they just got it. They just graduated 2025, year later, and they just found out that their degree is obsolete. They spent $120,000 for a computer science that'll get them a job making $40,000 a year. And it's not just their generation, but everyone is feeling the squeeze, and it's not a great feeling because people were told, they were put on a plan: get good grades, go to college, learn, work hard, and you will have a pretty okay life. But people are struggling. As you check in the system, you'll see that the consumer credit card debt surpassed $1.1 trillion in 2024, which means people are in debt. But to me, that's programmed. They want people on debt. It's been said at Davos that you will own nothing and like it. Well, if everyone's in debt and everybody get their houses taken from them through eviction or not being able to pay off debt, they take their cars from them, then everyone will own nothing and you'll like it. In a sense, it can be some empowerment in that, but it's just a change. It is a major change. A world of renters. We rent everything. But at the sense, this life that we have is rented as well, so it kind of just goes through that. But it's not just consumer debt. We got student loan debt, indentured slavery debt. I wouldn't call it slavery, but it's close to it. More so, what's called indentured servant, debt servants. It's people that get up, work every day to try to pay off a debt that they can't. Bondage. That's what it is. Bondage. You work hard to pay off a debt that has so much interest on it that you can never pay it off. They garnish your wages. It just harms your life for it. And I can see if you got a personal bank student loan, but the government loans you cannot get rid of them. So the interest rate should be at the rate of inflation because the government is not supposed to make money off people for it. And there are other ways people can get off, but a lot of times people don't do it. I would say if you have a student loan, join the military, but get it in writing, guarantee that you have the student loan pay off to where the student loan is paid off in 5 years, regardless of the amount, unless you're like a doctor or something, but they got different programs for that. And if you came into the military and you're a doctor, they would pay it off extremely greatly. Evictions, of course. Yeah. And yeah, what I just talked about, what I just said under my breath was evictions and foreclosures. One second, another commercial. Evictions and foreclosures, climbing post pandemic. Yeah, a lot of people got have houses, they're losing them, and it's not just because they have loans; it's because of the property tax. They got property tax. They gotta pay the insurance, property tax, and property. You got to pay the property tax, insurance, and then the payment for the loan. And some people have PMI and all that. It's just a lot to pay. As you see on the news in Chicago, LA, and a lot of places, New York City, they want to raise the property tax. The government mismanaged money and then they come back and say, you know what, we're just going to charge you more. It's incompetence and it's done on purpose. For instance, New York City put in a computer system to stop people from jumping the fares when all they had to do was put a police officer right there. Or they can have a person to where you come up, just like when you would go through a card, you come up to the gate, they watch you pay, and then you go through one at a time. Where a person could just hit a button. You put a person there. That could be a job that some mom does while her kids at the school. She gets off at 2. and then she goes pick up kids because that's when she gets off. She works the 7 to 2. No, well, kids got to be at 8, so she works like the 9 to 2 part time. She makes it, and then some people work the late night, and then some people work the late night shift, but it's a part time job. I just make sure people pay the fares. It's be a lot cheaper to pay the $1 million system. Would like to see who got the contract on that. That kind of goes into the corruption part. But back to staying on this debt part, we also have teen unemployment, pressured by the minimum wage. They don't understand that when they raise the minimum wage, they put a lot of teen and high school students out of work because nobody wants to pay a teen $20 an hour. A high school teen this is their first job. They cannot afford to pay them that. They can't because they're just learning. The minimum jobs or minimum skills jobs are supposed to be for those teenagers, young men and women that are just trying to learn in the workforce, but they've been put out of work because grown adults trying to say the minimum wage should be higher. No, the minimum wage does not need to be higher. If you've been working at McDonald's, which is not a bad job, but if you've been working there for 15 years, you should be in management. 15 years and you haven't taken at least an assistant manager job? You should be at least at 20 years. Yeah, I would be the manager, but there's no slot. So, but they're really good. You can move up. Even myself, I'm always looking at new things to learn new things. That way, I don't get left behind. But that's kind of the vicious cycle. What I just said, you don't want to be left behind. So you go back to college to try to get skills, but those colleges ain't. So you have to, before you spend the money to go back to get more skills at a college, you have to make sure that they're actually teaching right. That's why I'm glad to hear that they are pushing trade jobs right now, because the trade jobs are doing okay, but they're struggling too, mainly because there's no money in the economy for them to be paid as much. Some are doing, but that's mostly people that have their own businesses, but they struggle with customers because the customers cannot afford to pay to get the plumbing work done. People can't even afford their car loans. But people are learning, though. People are learning. It's sad that things aren't being passed down to people. Many people are buying cars that are overpriced. People don't understand. As soon as you drive the car off the lot, the value of the car goes down. They don't know to shop around. Don't just go to one dealership. You want to go to 4 dealerships. And even now, you can check online to see that they're selling this car here, this Honda Civic, for $50,000. Well, let me be more realistic. $30,000 this year. Should it be selling for that? Even ChatGPT will come back and say, "Well, for your area, this is right." Um, but I understand. But here in California, I would be careful where you buy. I wouldn't buy any car in the city of LA. It's high price. City of San Francisco. You want to go to some Fresno because the cost of living is there, so the cars are going to sell a little bit less. And the main reason why there's 2 reasons why you want to make sure that you're paying the property value plus the dealer cost for a vehicle. You're going to have to pay the dealer cost, is to make sure that you're not severely overpaying, which some people are right now. And this affects if you like get into a car accident and the insurance company pays out the car, they may not pay exactly what you think they're going to pay out. They'll pay the value of the car and you'll be like, that's not the value of the car. Like, yes, it is. And you try to fight it and you find out that was the value of the car and that you overpaid. And now it's a model for repossessions. It's the same cars that's being sold and repossessed, sold and repossessed, sold and repossessed because people don't know. And people bet credit is bad, so they have to pay high interest rate because they're delinquent on student loans or credit cards. And in some cases, teenagers age 18 already has bad credit because their parents use their credit. Told them they'll pay it back, or they just use their name, which is horrible, which leads to more economic struggles. It's just a cycle of poverty. Study the cycle of poverty and see what everything I just talked about, it's all in the cycle of poverty. All right, let me see. Let's go over to a different topic now. I think I done beat that horse enough. Crime and juvenile delinquency. Um, I probably should have added the video to this, but I didn't. But if you look at the things that happen during the spring break, you got the Houston rodeo and just things that are just happening over the country the past couple of years. When they had all the people stealing out of stores, which some of the people were paid to do that. Some of the stores paid people to do that, and they just filmed it on video. Look what these people are doing, because some of the things that were being stolen were stupid. You couldn't get no money for it. It was just idiot. It just, you could prove that some of the people are just stupid. Like if you go to the Apple store, steal those phones, they know exactly where you are. You can't. You're not going to get no money for them. They're Apple phones. They were stolen. As soon as you hook it up to the internet, Apple's going to know. Oh, okay. We've been looking for this phone. This phone was stolen. Or I think those phones that are on display is something with them. They don't. They're display phones. They don't work right. But these freaking morons out here stealing them. Idiots. And it's like they want the crime to happen. A lot of people don't know people make money from crime. For example, if one area is noted as a high crime area, people will pay more to live in the areas that are not high crime area. Now, some areas are high price because they're expensive and it's really good quality living in that area. But some of the areas that are high priced are not. You'll see it in Northern California where they're charging so much for houses. Like that's $1 million house. That's a dump. It look like it's falling apart. But I want to say it's going to take another generation. A lot of the housing, I believe, the property value, the places like Oakland with Silicon Valley leaving, it's going to crash. It's similar to what happened to Detroit when all the factories left to go overseas. And it honestly, it needs to in Oakland and in Northern California because those houses are ridiculously overpriced, and it does need to crash. But the people in real estate, they're kind of stuck too because they overpaid for those houses. They severely overpaid for them, so they're just trying to make their money to get out of the debt that they took out alone, or just to make money. But back onto the crime, yeah, do have many. We have a lot of crime going on in cities, and the politicians want to make it seem like they're doing the best interest of the people, but um, no, it's just it's a plan. I believe eventually two things are going to happen with all the crime and the juvenile delinquency. Another crime bill is going to. I'm sorry, another crime bill is going to be filed, signed. I'm sorry, not filed. Signed and approved. And except there will be drones in the sky, streets will be monitored, and everybody will say okay because it's needed because people are acting foolish, and it won't be completely wrong because people are acting foolishness. Some people have literally just lost their mind, just messing with people. They think they could just break in and take people's stuff. Even politicians are telling people to go against the police. Committing crime is not an answer just because you're poor. There's so many programs. People just you have to understand that some things that you're just not going to be able to have, and it is getting passed on to generational just the selfishness and entitlement. And it goes back to some other things I'm going to talk about as well. But um, other crime is fraud. Fraud is growing very lot. You have fraud. I'm sorry, insurance fraud. People are getting into car accidents, having accidents with cars just to make money off other people. We talked about the Medicare fraud and stuff like that. People on jobs frauds, but it's getting severe. People getting caught every day. People that are in high society that look like they make it and they were still in the whole time. Hearing the news every day. Bank managers finessed $1 million. Investor, so-called investor, finessing people out of money. This Armenian gang has been doing Medicare fraud. That actually happened here in LA. They had a big bust on that. It's just something that needs to go. Some of it just people are stressed out, and also the hip hop music, the rap is not helping right now. The type of rap that's being promoted, got mugs that get guns that are just shooting up. Can't shoot, really can't shoot for damn. They just shooting up the place. shooting and innocent bystanders are getting hit because it got an idiot with a gun, a scared idiot, can't fight, so they pull a gun, thinking that the person gonna run away, and they end up shooting somebody. Now they're getting 30 to life. Now they would just want to cry. Well, I was only 19. You knew better.
Booking.com has stays for absolutely
Another commercial.
anyone. For instance, imagine you're a vampire thirsting for a life.
But it's just something that needs to be looked at. So, like, that's why I said, just to kind of go back with, I mean, you can look on YouTube, you'll see all the crime videos. Some of it's sad. Sometimes it's just people make mistakes, but some of it's just sad. For it's always been part of human society. No matter what society you have crime, humans hating on humans, humans beating on humans. That's just, it's in our nature. Some of us are smart enough to look past it, but some of them can't help it. It's people that just will keep taking to you to fight back, or is people that will just assault other people. That's why the police was created. That's one thing about all the crime. We understand this is why the police is needed. Humans need they need their head busted to stay in order every now and then. You need to be tough. You cannot be soft, especially men. Men that they talking ain't gonna work. And even women, they getting crazy. They think they can just do for whatever. We need hardcore punishment. And I'm not talking about 20 to life, because sometimes that's easier. Real punishment would be work camps. If you want to rehabilitate somebody, you put them in a work camp, especially with men. I can't really talk about with females, but with men, you have a man working every day to kind of correct or teach them how to do something, and maybe they'll leave that criminal way. That they won't be a criminal, especially as they get older. They get a little bit more sense when you get older. But as I see it, our government officials want this crime to happen, because if they can track what the whatever the guy name in Iran was, they track him all the way to Iran. They knew everything that was going on. You mean we can't solve the crime problem here in the United States? If we can track where Maduro is in Venezuela, we can track all this other stuff. Right now, they're tracking what we're doing right now. They don't care. It is a bigger plan. All right, now beat this subject that, which kind of leads to the same thing with crime. We have the drug crisis. And this is not only with crime. I'm going to talk about some other drugs as well. I'm just going to read the top a little bit. We've got over 100,000 Americans died from drug overdoses in 2023. Fentanyl was involved in nearly 70% of it. And the crazy part about that with the fentanyl, the person actually didn't even have to be a fentanyl user. We have young children that died in a daycare where they were storing fentanyl. Sometimes they came in contact with it, and fentanyl is so small. If you come back just with like a little bit of it, it can cause an OD. It can kill somebody who's not even intending to use a drug. They just come in contact, and then immediately you touch it and you start ODing. And it's a way of killing people as well too. If you want to kill somebody, uh, I don't know exactly how you do it, but put it in a drink or something like that to the point where they start ODing. And if they don't do a more thorough autopsy, they'll think the person just had a drug problem and they died from a fentanyl overdose when they were just murdered. There's video of police officers coming and contacting and then just going right into overdosing, and the other police officers have to save them. And then you have the counterfeit pills that was built from the oxycodone, which connects back to the Ritalin that was given. The children that were taking the Ritalin in the late 90s, early 2000s, went on to take oxycodone and opiates because they were told it was okay to take medications. They were programmed as children to take pills, to take drugs. Taking drugs is okay. It is a programming. And oxycodone, they give it a new name, but it's really opioids, which is really basically heroin. And people from the 1970s did not know this, but after the 1970s, people understood the effects of heroin. They understood the effects of cocaine. They understood the effects of different drugs because it was all out there. But now they just give it different names and they rebring it back. And they have doctors push it thinking it's okay. Some doctors knew, some didn't. And as you see with oxycodone, the Sackler family got very wealthy. They paid a fine, but actually they made more money than they paid in that fine pretty easy. And then years from now, the family is going to talk about how they were successful and how they did the righteous, but they got wealthy off dead bodies. People ODing, people selling, losing everything, selling every dollar they got just from oxycodone. But that is another cycle that has happened before. Just study the East India Trading Company that was selling heroin. Opium. That's how Hong Kong got created. That's how the British Empire made their money. It was from drug money. So it's a recycling of the same thing.
Mobile price won't change for 5 years.
Another commercial.
5 New Year celebrations.
But it's just a recycling. We're recycling the same thing. Drugs have been around a long time. But I just tell people stay away from drugs. Even if a doctor's given, just stay away. Find another way. Find another way. Or take it in the best form. Like cocaine actually comes from coca leaves. So if instead for taking cocaine, if you were just like to eat coca leaves, it has other things so minimal to it that to me that probably would help people. Let's say if they were suffering withdrawals or something, instead of for giving them another drug, if they would actually give them coca leaves to eat, it would probably help them with their cravings, with their addiction. And they wouldn't OD it because it's in a small amount. I'm not sure they do it because there's people in South America, they still chew the leaves. I'm not really sure if that would be a good method, but that's something that should be studied. Just like with heroin addicts, when they go in treatment, they still give them small doses because if you get hooked on heroin, your body's addicted. You can't just stop taking it; you'll die. So it's a problem with that. But on the slide thing, because when most people think about drugs, how I say, even if a doctor is giving it, be careful. There's another drug that's being pushed now, GLP-1, Ozempic. Everybody's taking it. And it's crazy. But some people have no idea what they're doing to themselves. They just know they look thin. But they don't know that they destroyed their bone structure. They're giving themselves osteoporosis. Some people's messing up their stomachs. Some people it's not having a bad effect. They're getting the right dosage and they're okay, or they're just not telling you about it. I think to take that, you need to be watched by a doctor to make sure that you're not losing bone density. You got to keep your muscles up, especially with men. Well, actually with women too, with everybody. As we get older, we need our muscles. In your 50s, 60s, you need your muscles. For strength to make it through, just so you're not in pain. But that's something to look at. Like they're always pushing a new wonder drug, and people always run to it. Another cycle. I look at GLP-1. The same thing when amphetamines came out. They used to have diet drug that was loaded with amphetamine. Take your appetite away. It's just another recycling of the same issue. All right, I beat that dead horse. Which flows into the cultural and moral shift. Social media is reshaping values, priorities, and behavior at a scale. Individual, look at me, look at me, look at me is being pushed out. It's being pushed out a lot. Gonna go into the guy, I think his name's like Clavicle or whatever. Just this guy's been pushed, trying to push that taking steroids is okay. No, it's not. He didn't need to do that. He's getting all these surgeries. He got his jaw redone. He got his legs or something redone, surgeries to make your legs longer. I got this chin, and he talks about all these drugs he's injecting himself with. I mean, he looks okay right now because he's 20 and his body's young enough to take it, but internally, that has to be doing a work of numbers on his kidneys and his liver. And taking steroids, it destroys you. It destroys. A lot of people don't care. You just you can see it on other YouTube channels, the effects of long-term steroid use and what it does. You see in the beginning or the person's winning awards. Oh my God, that person looks like they're in great shape in the long terms. Even adults, Mel. Only people that I think should take steroids to where it won't really risk it, like if you're in your 60s, 70s, because you lost so much testosterone because you're older that it uses. But that's with a doctor, a really good, not just I'm a doctor, a real doctor that knows what they're talking about. And that's only after you've shown medical systems where the steroids actually help you. But to get past all this, they push get the bag mentality on it. And people, if you look good, such as this guy Clavicle, he's on YouTube, he's getting a lot of views and he's making money off of it, which goes into something else about getting views. The OnlyFans, young girls, you turn into that just to, oh, I'm making money. I'm gonna be like Bella Thorne and this person making millions, but they don't know that was just an advertising program. Bella Thorne did make money, but a lot of that money came from the OnlyFans company to promote it. Because if they know if girls see her making millions, they want to be like her. Women are most women are followers. Like women will follow other women stronger. Uh, that's the only thing this OnlyFans showed it. So then they start doing OnlyFans. Everybody sees it, and they're only making $180 a month, not millions. And then they want it to go away, but everybody's seen it, and it's a problem. Hold up, give me 1 second. But yeah, it's a lot of videos on that on the OnlyFans and the OnlyFans traps, and um, there's videos on YouTube about that. But it just shows the moral route because women are supposed to be uplifted to where they're not selling the body, so they try to do a psychological mind. Well, it is empowering. Women are in charge of their bodies, so uh, you should respect that she's whoring. No, we're supposed to be getting women out of whoring. They're supposed to be wives first, mothers, or if you want to go into the workforce, create your own company, do that. But something that's real. Working, selling their body is supposed to be like a last resort and a short time thing. Because just like right now, yeah, we do have poor economic times, and I'm not gonna lie, the rent is due, and men will pay for it. Um, so that's where it goes. But it's supposed to be a last resort. It shouldn't be like a go-to, like, oh, this is what I'm gonna do. Okay, but there's consequences to go with it because men are not gonna change. You're gonna accept the fact that I'm an OnlyFans model. Oh no, I'm not. Just any dude that tells you that they're lying, they're not gonna be okay with it. They're not gonna like it. But get the bag mentality. That goes with the hip hop music. People know that music is detrimental to the youth because they think it's cool. They think it's something to be. The guy with the switch. That's why you see a lot of people in Chicago. They got the switches, even though it's a horrible way to shoot a gun. That's why a lot of innocent bystanders, because you start shooting them, they don't know how to control it, and it just goes. And plus, a lot of these people that are proven to be such a tough guy come to find out that they're not. See what else? BBLs. That seems to be thought that would be dying, but it's still some people that are doing it. But it's mostly dying. I think like another person just died from the surgery for BBLs. I don't have that up on the screen, but it's just all this body enhancement, all this stuff. You got to do it naturally. The biggest thing, especially if you want to lose weight, is just what you're eating mostly. Yeah, you can exercise, but that's only 25%. I've proven that with myself on it. Cutting calories and working out. I like that eating one time a day. I think that's a big thing. I would say try to eat one meal a day, or if you're used to eating three, just cut down to two. Definitely cut out breakfast because you wake up in the morning, you eat breakfast. That actually makes you more sleepier to want to go back to sleep. That's why you need coffee when you get to work. Uh, Even though it's hard because our society is pushed to it, you might be on a diet. 1 second. Chick-fil-A. I just got a commercial. um, because you might be trying to get in shape or stuff like that, and then people bringing donuts to the work. Like I didn't need donuts. But yeah, back onto the cultural and moral shifts. Another thing too that has shifted and something that nature should that needs to be corrected is childbirth. It's like a cultural norm that other people are responsible for helping you take care of children that have absolutely nothing to do with the children. You hear comments. I work with people, so the comment I get is like, "Well, I have children," and I'm like, "Okay, you have children. Well, don't do you have a program for people that have children?" No, the bill is still the same, and you still have to pay the bill. This is the bill. But I have children. I don't understand. But see, that's where the moral clause come out, where people think people that go out and have children that they cannot take care of, and morally believe that other people should have to help them take care of their kids. They're not your family. They're not. And the guy that got them pregnant, or in that case, the mom. If the moms run off, they're well, they're not helping. They're not supporting. They're not in the life. We'll go find them. And it's really like a mentality that thinks, no, you have to help me. I have children, and I pray for people that have that mentality because I just see a lot of pain in their future, or mainly for the children because the children in cases aren't being taken care of. That goes back to the moral shift, but that's been like since the '70s. Some people just got kids so they can get that government check, they can get that government food, the food stamps. They're not helping to raise the kids. That's why the kids are acting crazy. They're housing the kids, but they're not raising them. They're not teaching discipline to them, or just like listen something basic to where they're not out in the street acting crazy because they know if their parents get called, oh, it's not going to be a good day once I get home. Some parents just don't care. I just think arranged marriages, well, not arranged, shotgun weddings should happen. A woman gets pregnant, find a dude to get her pregnant, they're getting married. Well, if that guy she's already married, oh well, it's going to be a second one. It's going to be a birth marriage. This woman is pregnant, so the marriage is now. Please sign here. Sign here. Congratulations, you are now married, and you will do this. Especially if you're trying to get any government assistance. When is the marriage? Okay, you married now. Here comes your government assistance. And also, people are starting to think they should be able to sit home, get a check, and not have to work for a living. Working is good. It's actually good for your mental health. Get up, earn your own paycheck, pay your own bills. It helps build up your self esteem. A lot of people that are on government benefits have very low self esteem because they don't do nothing with their day. They have nothing to look for, no goals, no nothing. Goes back to the cultural and moral shift. And other people are making money off it, and other people need these people so they'll vote for him. That's bad morality on the politician's fault, but politicians have already had bad morality. All right. We just need to. I'm finna talk about international, but we just need to take a look at ourselves. Sometimes it's good is just to step away from people and just look at yourself. Um, just to kind of kick back. I'm gonna go back on the morality thing. Where is it? Just with dating. Uh, I'm just gonna go to the point of men dating women, or not even dating. One sec. Like who you're having sex with is very important. A lot of men are total go around and have sex with many different women, but you do not want to do that because you end up it's hazardous to yourself, and worse, you can end up with a bitter baby mama, which you do not want. And now you're mad, she's mad, and it's destroying our society. Sexual discipline is something that needs to be taught, and it's really a parent thing. But since parents ain't doing it, it needs to be a school curriculum, part of health class. Also, just basic etiquette needs to be it, because basically parenting 101. Unfortunately, it could be part of social studies, how to act in society, how to act when your food order is not right at a restaurant, or you get bad service at a restaurant. You don't go crazy and start destroying stuff. You just leave the restaurant and never come back to it. Or it's like a clothing store. You feel like you're being discriminated, don't go back to the place. We can do better, but it's like an agenda not to be better. All right. Now that horse is really dead. All right. International. Okay. Internationally. It's a lot of stuff going on international. We got trade issues. We got which affects how much you pay at the store. So this is important to you. Some people don't think it's important. We have wars going on. We have wars going on in Sudan. We have wars going on. We have Ukraine, Soviet Union. We have the Congo. We have even Afghanistan. They're fighting with Pakistan now, and we give Afghanistan money. I don't know why we give Afghanistan money. We shouldn't do that. Also, of course, the Israel war that Israel started, where the U.S. is really the U.S. Israel Iran war conflict that's going on right now, which is causing a lot of issues, especially in the Gulf. That is something that did not need to be happen. That did not need to happen. Some soldiers and civilians have already died for nothing. It hasn't achieved nothing, just more death and destruction, and other people are getting rich on it. But the one I'm gonna focus on what's going on right now, what people talk about. Okay, so we got the U.S., Israel, which is kind of separate, but war with Iran, to where bombs are being dropped, people are dying. Now Trump is talking about putting Marines on the ground. Pray for those Marines. Because from what it seems like, if they put them on the ground, most of those Marines will die. They'll fight it out, do the best they can, but Iran actually has a strategic hold on that area. It's something that must be properly planned, and it's not. And even if the Marines do hold, they're holding for nothing. I just think about the people that died at the airport, which kind of goes back to why are we giving the Taliban money when they kill our Marines, even as we were leaving? It's shameful. And now they want to put more Marines on the ground again. And it's easy for the people that are doing it because they're sitting in Washington in their big houses and their maids and the generals with all their stars and the admirals with all their stars on their chest, sending young men and people to die just because they want to get it. I commend the admiral that resigned and said, no, I'm not doing this. I'm done. I'm resigning. I'm not following this order. I'll just retire. So I wish him well. Pray for the Marines on the ground. Pray for the people's families, people that have died. I think we have 7 soldiers that died. 7. I think it's like up to 12 now. 12 people have died. Yeah, because we had that plane that crashed. And we're going to go to the news a little bit. After this, I just want to go through the PowerPoint. I'm actually live. This is my first time doing one live. But it's something just to look at. In the war, U.S.-Iran is supposed to be to, just like with Iraq, we're bringing democracy to Iran. I know that people don't like their government there. However, they're not ready to rise up against it. Same thing such as in Iraq. Same thing as in Afghanistan. So that's why we believe this war is over oil and power. They want to control the region. So while U.S. was bombing Iran, Israel is actually bombing Lebanon too because they're trying to push into their territory. Even the Israelis, not all the Israelis even agree with that. People that live in Israel, they want the war to stop too. They want these wars to stop. That is something that could be solved. Them with the Palestinians, but they just, it's just evil. Israel and Palestine could be just done like North Korea and South Korea, where the Palestinians are just given land separated from the Israeli, the Palestinians that do not want to be part of it. Okay, you go here. Now they'll probably still be fighting, but it'll be a little bit easier to tell. This is the Palestine area. This is the Israeli area. Just like with North Korea and South Korea. Some people will be trapped behind the walls, but in this case, it's nothing. They're gonna have to do something because people are dying and suffering, and it's just like I just don't think God wants us to do this to each other. And to me, it just proves that we still are in the Stone Ages. We think we're so advanced, we're so smart, but we're still killing one another over stupid stuff. At the end of the day, just like the war in Iraq, the second one, the war in Afghanistan, what was achieved? Nothing. The only thing is our military got more. They can build better bombs to kill other humans with. Actually, the AI came out from that, and now the AI is tracking everything. I'm gonna get to something else that I see coming, but it's gone. But internationally, we got the Strait of Hormuz issue, which kind of could be solved if they're mining those grounds. We could actually just I guess we don't want to bring ourselves in that close, but we have things that can make those mines blow up. We can blow up all the mines in the ground and run the ships. We do have the drones that will come for the air, which are very tough to stop. But to me, you just switch and you move it to land. It's more energy um, in the short run, but that land mass needs to change. You found a flaw in the supply system. Saudi Arabia has already built a pipeline to kind of get around that, and people are just they can get oil on the other end. It's a lot slower, but the land that's trapped in the north part of that is going to be hard for it to get through. Some ships are already getting through, but you spotted a flaw that need to get fixed. But it's all about oil and money, and this is no coincidence. Venezuela's back on track. Iran's the last one. They get that oil, they got all of it. It's just at the long run, all this comes back to them wanting the one world government, and everybody has to be on board, or everybody will be on board, or you will die. Gaddafi didn't want to get on board, he's gone, he's dead. Saddam didn't want to get on board, he's dead. The Syrian Alawite guy, they don't even talk about him. He could be dead too. He's not even spoken about anymore. He just went to Russia and kind of disappeared. And this Khomeini guy could have already been dead. They said they killed him, but he could have already been dead. That's the thing also with this international, we're being told what happened. Some of this stuff is AI. Some of these videos are AI. I can just tell they don't look right. These videos are Netanyahu. Some of them are IA. They're not real. Propaganda, so much propaganda that is being pushed through this war. Getting whose side are you on? What side? Man, I just wanted to stop. It's no need. If the Iranian people want to be free, the Persians, they have to stand up themselves. Just like the Vietnamese. Think of other stuff internationally. I think the war is the biggest international thing, besides the Epstein, which kind of goes into international. They're trying to make people forget about that, but that's not going. Um, but I mean, that's everybody knows about Epstein. Um, well, yeah, internationally we have Sudan. Oh yes, the Sudan, the gold. People know about blood diamonds. Now we have gold, blood gold. The Sudan War, which I did a report on that, is mainly for gold. The UAE, the innocent UAE, is funding the rebels that is fighting the Sudanese army to get the gold. And the other governments are helping the Sudanese army to get the gold. So the goal is to get the gold and other resources that they have cheaply. And the Sudanese can't see that they're being played. They're being played against each other. Sudanese killing each other. Like I said, it's a recycling. Sunni versus Shia killing each other. Hutu, Rwanda. The Hutus were killing the Tutsis. Humans. We keep repeating the same cycle. It just goes in different names. And Americans, back to the war, we're fatigued on war. We're tired of it. Because we know it results in nothing. But what can you do? Whew. That kind of goes into the next thing. Historians note parallels to the late stage Roman and other imperial societies. Materialism, such as I'm getting this commercial. Uh, Materialism, inequality, moral drift, celebrity worship, brand identity. That happened in Rome too. And it's something that we are in. We worship celebrities so much when we find out that they've done wrong and they're human people, we feel shocked. As we get older, we see that they are just people, but it's mostly in young people that worship the celebrities. As we get older, we find out they're just regular people. Some people, even as old age, they worship and they want to be like other people, which they're just people. Do not expect people to be more than just human. Humans have emotions. Those emotions causes judgment. It affects their thinking. People that are tired of raging, people that got a lot of things going, they're gonna assume, they're gonna say things out of anger. They're gonna do things because they have the lack of knowledge of what the actual truth is. Expect people to be human. Just do the best you can. And that's where spirituality comes into play and into place. But even that has been corrupted. I think eventually we're gonna have to go back and break down what the true religion is, who truly God is. Because that has been corrupted as well by humans, but because that's what humans do, we corrupt. Without a strong hand, humans will be corrupted. And one of the biggest, strongest things people love to do, if when they're good at it, is to corrupt other people for their benefit. The most wealthy and people in the world were able to corrupt and get other people to follow their thinking. And kind of going back to that recycling, I see Ozempic as another Tuskegee experiment, another Guatemalan experiment. I see COVID as another sterilization program. Check out the sterilization of Puerto Rican women, the sterilization of Central American women that was conducted under the United States eugenics people. And that's not too far off. This was in the 60s and the 70s they did this. And now they're saying we need to have more children. Check it out. But back to where I was comparing America to Rome, because America's falling. Right now, you have people that are working, doing the best they can. They can't afford to pay basic necessity. We have people sleeping in the streets when we could easily house everybody that wanted to be housed. May not be the best housing, but it could be decent. And have them working. Some people that are homeless want jobs, but some people homeless do want to be on the street. That's where the same asylums come into play. And some people that are on the street is because they actually just should not be here. They are just not good people. There's such thing as bad people. We keep a lot of bad people walking around in our jails, taking up space, taking up funds that should be going to research other things. But that's a different topic. But on a global lens, we need to just look that the United States is in great decline and be prepared for it. That's the biggest thing I want you to take from this. The world's changing. The world's changing. You're not gonna. I'm just gonna graduate. I'm gonna go to college, get that degree. I'm gonna get that high-paying job. I'm gonna live in a very nice area, eat the best food, the best quality, and have the great life. Life is hard, and especially if you want to live your life around luxuries, you're gonna find that you're gonna have a very hard life. The good life, it takes a lot of strength to uphold it. It's upheld by men mostly. And I did say that a good society is held up by strong men. and our society is weakening men to better control it. But by you will have control, but society will become weak and out of control because the men are the one that keeps order and discipline. But we'll see. It's just a circle. We'll see. The cycle's starting to turn. I kind of already talked about this. Everything's connected. Economic, cultural, political crisis do not exist in isolation. It's reinforced, and other people use it for profit. Our behavior, part of it is human behavior. Part of it is been pushed behavior that's pushed for people to act a certain way through commercials, music, movies, and by politicians to make people think a certain way and think it's okay. Well, this is what I should be doing. This is the way I should be acting. The first thing to be aware that you're being messed with. Pay attention to it. Spot the con. Spot the politician when they're just pimping you. They're talking in a way that makes make you believe in them when they're lying. Be aware. Become aware. Awareness is the first step. At minimum, you could just be aware of the cycle of poverty, the cycle of overpaying for things. Know the basic when you're taking out a loan, read contracts, understand what you're doing. Do not follow people. And for the love of God, do not do things to impress other people that don't even like you or know your name. Because they have their own problem. It's not that they look down upon you, they just have their own problems. Many people think that people walk away. They just got their own problems to deal with. People aren't stuck on you. So I'd say stay informed, stay engaged. These challenges are complex. A lot of these issues are macro and micro. Control what you can and just try to keep learning, just to be prepared. Life is hard. Some things don't have to be as hard, they just make them that way. Yeah. And that was basically the main thing I wanted to talk about, but also just want to, because the purpose of the stream is just what's going on in America. So we're just going to check out some videos to see what exactly is going on. Give me 1 second here. Just gonna go over some YouTube videos, some things that
When we
entrance.
I was worried we'd be stranded for hours.
Yeah, that just shows. All right. 1 second. Yeah, we're bombing. Israel. I think Israel got bombed and they did some bombing. And yeah, Iran came back and struck back. It got through some defenses, so more bombs are going on. We got networks showing that. Give me 1 second. Let's see what we have here. Yeah, that's kind of like with my YouTube feed. Check out Myron Gaines. I agree with everything that Myron talks about, but he does give some pretty good takes on things too. These are just some YouTube channels that I do constantly watch on this. And then we got Jack Morgan. He dropped some pretty good things. He dropped today with Just looking at prices of used cars, how they're kind of higher than what they should be. I mean, that one thing I do like YouTube, you can see all types of videos on different things, and it just shows that good things people are doing, just out having fun, um, and people working, people cooking things, TV shows coming out. Uh, so let's see what we got here. We are live. We are doing it live. Oh yeah, the TSA. Yeah, the TSA. Um, Currently, right now, there's a partial government shutdown. So once again, TSA agents aren't getting paid. Some people aren't showing up to work. It's kind of hard. I mean, because like this shutdown's been happening for some time now, and people got bills to pay. They can't afford, even if they get back pay, they need to get paid now. I know people that can, they just going because they know they eventually will get their back pay on their um, to see. But yeah, that is a big issue. That's also shows on just how messed up politicians are. They'll shut down the government partially, knowing some people aren't get paid, but they make sure that they're getting paid. Just shows their morality. We also have Michael Bernero. Is another good website to talk about. It's going pretty good. Um, I'm sorry, I said website. I meant YouTube channel. I recommend his channel. Just take a look at it. And then you got like other channels how they're talking about Usher and Bieber. Through. You got ABL Live. Take a look. Al Jazeera. I watch Al Jazeera a lot as well. Um, I'm gonna cut this stream. I'm gonna come up with some more topics, and then I will bring this another stream back up. What's the last thing? They're coming out with another Dune Part Three. That's pretty good. Um, yeah, 13 minutes. Yep, that's what I talk about. The scammers, Medicare. They got greedy. 13 million. Didn't know when to stop. That's why I say it comes also to no knowledge. 13 million Medicare. Once you got at least four, if you knew what you're doing, you should have just shut that down, put that money into stocks and bonds, and you wouldn't even need to scam anymore. But you got greedy. Now you're going to jail, and then coming in and taking everything needs to happen. But I'm gonna bring this back up. Oh yeah, check out the Cartier family. Uh, oh, lo-fi. Lo-fi. Is this lo-fi? This is a hip hop mix. That's not lo-fi, but check out lo-fi. Just type in lo-fi music in the YouTube. Actually, hold up. Let me check. Lo-fi music. With my music, this is something I've gotten into as well. Just lo-fi chill music. I recommend to people, especially like if you like hip hop music, but not the horrible lyrics. Something to look at. Yeah, let me just get this contract. All right, but yeah, just take a look at it. Lo-fi. Um, I like how it's set up and how it goes. You can go to sleep to this, or if you're studying, it's something good to have. Check out lo-fi. Just type that in there, and then also you have coding music. It's like electronica type trance music, but not truly. It's just like coded music. Like I like this as well. It's like vibe music. I'm getting more into instrumentals. Yeah, I don't want to get a copyright, so I'm gonna start right there. But yeah, check it out.